John, thanks for joining us again. It's great that we've got a ceasefire, but colour me cynical. I don't know that Joe Biden played a huge role in it.
It doesn't seem so, although over the course of the past 11 days, the president spoke with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu 6 times. And the most recent conversation that the president had with Mr. Netanyahu was one in which he essentially said to his friend of over 40 years, you risk, by continuing this action, additional pressure from the U.S., mainly from the progressives in my party, but also the international community, and that could jeopardize the U.S. relationship with Israel. And I think that talking point got through to the Prime Minister of Israel, and that led in large part to the declaration coming from Mr. Netanyahu that they had significantly degraded the military capabilities of Hamas and Hamas's infrastructure. They had killed a significant number of commanders of Hamas. And as a result, the goals had been met. And now they can have this unconditional ceasefire with Hamas.
Yeah, I think the coming days will perhaps learn a bit more, but it looks to me like Israel has actually, knocked out those military or terrorist stockpiles that they were looking to do and have finished when they were finished. But of course, Joe Biden's intercessions couldn't have hurt. They've got to be helpful. And I thought one of the aspects that is intriguing is there seems to be a commitment from the president to help replenish Israel's Iron Dome missile protection resources.
Well, that's exactly right. Iron Dome was so significant for the Israeli military over the course of the past 11 days in protecting their citizens, the Israeli citizens, from 4,000 plus rockets, which were launched from by Hamas from Gaza. And as a result, this Iron Dome system does indeed need to be replenished. And Mr. Netanyahu got that commitment from President Biden over the course of the day.
Now, I was speaking to the former Foreign Minister of Australia, Alexander Downer, last night. He's obviously been involved in these issues over many, many years. He was our longest-serving Foreign Minister. I used to work for him. I always make this declaration. But he says that the real issue here is Iran. Of course, Hamas get their rockets and their weapons and their money largely from Iran. And so what we need is the international community, led by the US, taking stronger action against Tehran. Do you think there's any likelihood that President Joe Biden will be moving in that direction, given he's really eased the pressure on Iran since taking office?
I don't think so. I don't think so, based upon the fact that talks continue through intermediaries between the US and Iran trying to get a new nuclear deal. This is a major commitment that President Biden spoke of when he was a candidate, and he continues with that pledge as president. So I do not see that happening. And when you look at Iran, they have really benefited from this 11 days of a military action between Hamas and Israel. And I say that because what they saw is that at the end of this whole process, there is a divided Democratic Party. There was pressure put to bear on the President of the United States by members of his own party. And I think, Chris, that's a blueprint going forward for Hamas if they want to continue sort of with that divide that exists in the Democratic Party that was exposed during these past 11 days.
John, thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you, Chris. Have a nice weekend.
The weekend. I can almost smell it. Don't go away, though, because after the break, we'll catch up with Ross Greenwood for some surprising news when it comes to one of the big online retailers. And Samantha Foxon's got some great entertainment news about a big new reunion. Be back in a moment.
You're watching The Kenny Report on Sky News.